Hi. I do feel that you just need to
Say hello.
So where we left off from last time, we were just getting into the story of do we need the little
Dashrata.
things that tell us where we're up to?
Oh no.
I'll go get we forgot to print them out, so
I'll
I'll just
start
get my
reading.
laptop. Yeah.
Oh, or should I? Yeah, I
Yeah,
will
you
use
just
the
start
laptop
reading.
for now, and I'll just
Yeah.
start reading.
Yep. To finish what I was saying is that we're just up to the part
Previously,
where Ram's been born.
Yep.
And now he is doing his childish things.
Childish things. Baby Rama. Alright. The city was full of flags and banners and festal arches. It was decorated in a way which defies description. Showers of flowers dropped from heaven. Everybody was wrapped in the joy of absorption into Brahma. Women streamed forth in troops. They came running in their natural toilet.
Oh, yeah, we read that bit.
It did. Carrying jars of gold and salvers full of auspicious articles. They entered the portals of the royal palace, singing as they went along, waving lights and passing offerings round and round over the child's head as an act of exorcism. They threw themselves at the babe's feet again and again. Bards, minstrels, panegyrists, and songsters chanted solemn praises of the Lord of Ragus. Everyone gave whatever one possessed. Even he who received did not retain it. All the lanes of the city were muddy with pastes of musk and sandal and saffron. There was happy music of festival in every house, for the very fountain of beauty had manifested himself. All the men and women of the city were full of joy everywhere. Kaikeyi and Sumitra each gave birth to a lovely boy. The joy, grandeur, solemnity of the occasion and the concourse of men were more than what Sharada and the Serpent King could describe. The city of Ayodhya wore a gala appearance. It looked as if night had come to see the Lord, and feeling abashed as it were at the sight of the sun, her own Lord, had deliberately stayed over in the form of twilight. Clouds of incense represented the dusk, and handfuls of red powder tossed up and wafted in the air represented the reddish light of sunset. The hosts of jewels that gleamed. You knew what number it was next?
We're up to here, yeah.
Yeah, but what number was it not next? So I just can be ready to stop at number
203.
The hosts of jewels that gleamed on housetops looked like so many stairs, while the round pinnacle on the top of the royal palace corresponded to the beautiful moon. The murmuring sound of the chanting of Veda in the palace resembled the chirping of birds appropriate to the occasion. Gazing upon this spectacle, the son forgot himself. A whole month passed without his knowing it. The day assumed the length of a month, but no one could understand the mystery. The sun stood motionless with his chariot. How could there be any night? Nobody noticed this strange phenomenon. The sun at last moved ahead, singing the praises of Sri Rama as he went. Witnessing the great festival, the gods, sages, and Nagas proceeded to their several abodes, congratulating themselves on their good luck. I tell you once more, convert act of mine. Listen to it, O Girija. For I know your steadfast faith. The sage Kakabun Shundi and myself were both were there together in human form without anyone knowing it. Elated with supreme joy and the delight of love, we roamed about the streets in ecstasy, forgetting ourselves. He alone who enjoyed Sri Rama's grace could be appraised of this blessed adventure of ours. On that occasion, the king granted the desire of everyone's heart. In whatever manner one came, he bestowed elephants, chariots, horses, gold cows, diamonds, and costumes of various kinds. All were satisfied in their heart and invoked blessings here and there, saying, May all the sons of Dasharatha live long, those Lord of Tulasidasa. A few days rolled on in this way. Days and nights passed unnoticed. Knowing that the time had come for naming the children, the king sent for the enlightened sage Vasishta. After paying him homage, the king spoke to him thus: Holy Sir, kindly assign them names that you have fixed your mind upon. Their names are many and unique. Yet, O King, I will declare them according to my own lights. This eldest boy of yours, who is an ocean of felicity, an embodiment of joy, a particle of which fills the three worlds with delight, has for his name Rama, the very home of bliss and the comforter of all the worlds. Your second son, who sustains and supports the universe, will be called Bharata, while he whose very thoughts destroys one's enemies is celebrated in the Vedas by the name of Satrugna. He who is the abode of noble characteristics, the beloved of Sri Rama, and the mainstay of the whole universe, was given by Guru Vasishta the splendid name of Lakshmana. Do you think it'll work if I try and make it all the way to referee? That seems to be a while.
Do you want to keep that?
Why don't you go to the end of 2 or 3? We try. If it works, we'll try. I'm sorry, I should have told you.
The preceptor assigned these names after careful thought and then said, Your 4 sons, O king, are the essence of Veda itself. Of them, Sri Rama is the sage's treasure. the devotee's all in all and Shiva's very life. He takes delight at present in the rapture of childish sports. From his earliest days, Lakshmana came to look upon Sri Rama as his benefactor and master, and conceived devotion to his feet. The love that existed between the two half-brothers, Bharata and Satrugna.
That's
Okay.
how, do you reckon?
That's it.
Sat-
Satrugna.
See, it's sat, but it's got the ish thing. Maybe it's shut.
Shatrugna.
Shatrug. And then
No.
Shatrugna.
Shatrugna.
Shatrugna. I thought it was Satrugna, but I don't actually know.
I know.
But it's got the sh thing there, so
yeah.
Shatrugna.
Was as glorious as that which obtains between a master and his servant. As a mother gazed on the beauty of the two lovely pairs, one of whom was dark, the other fair, they would break a blade of grass in order to avert their evil eye. Although all four brothers were embodiments of amiability, beauty, and goodness, yet Sri Rama was an ocean of bliss par excellence. In his heart shone the moon of grace, and his captivating smile represented its rays. Now on her lap in the beautiful cradle, the mother fondled him, calling him her own darling. The unborn and all-pervading Brahma, who is untainted by Maya, who attributes and devoid of play, has sought shelter in the arms of Kausalya. Is that how you say it?
Yes,
Kausalya. Conquered by her love and devotion. His dark form, which resembles a blue lotus and a heavy rain cloud, possessed the beauty of millions of cupids. The nails glistened on his red lotus-like feet as if pearls had been set on the petals of a rosy lotus. Marks of a thunderbolt, a flag, and a goad shone on his soles, and the tinkling of his anklets enraptured the heart of sages. A string of teeny bells girdled his waist, and there were 3 folds in his belly. It's like when you tag a cat with a collar with a bell, he'd just be jingling everywhere he went. Where's from? Oh, he's over there. You can hear the bells. You can hear the bells. He's over there. Don't worry, he's still around. 3 folds in his belly. The depth of his navel is known to him alone who has perceived it. His long arms were adorned with a number of ornaments, and the tiger's claw hanging on his breast possessed an exquisite beauty. The excellence of the necklace of gems with a diamond at the lowest end and the print of the Brahmana's foot fascinated one's mind. Side note, quite a long side note actually, footnote, sorry. Once upon a time, there was a discussion among the sages as to which of the 3 laws of creation, Brahma, Vishnu, or Shiva, was the greatest. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
In order to put the matter to test, Brahma's son, Bhrigu, was deputed to visit the 3 divinities one by one. Bhrigu first approached his own father and did not bow to him as a dutiful son. This enraged Brahma, but he somehow managed to curb his anger by force of reason. From Brahma's court, the sage went to Kailasa.
Kailasa? Where is it?
That is Shiva's home, Mount
Kailasa.
Kailasa. The god of gods, Shankara, rose to greet the sage and stretched his arms to embrace him, but Bhrigu avoided his touch, saying, "Touch me not, since you have broken social conventions and flouted the injunctions of the Vedas." Shiva lost his temper, and when he heard these aspirations, taking up his trident, he proceeded to strike the sage. But goddess Parvati intervened and pacified him. Thereafter, Bhrigu went to Vaikuntha, the abode. Yeah, I know. I always do that.
Where is it? Show me. So when you see that th, it's ta. Like it's not tha. Yeah.
But I know, but it's hard when you always read it.
Yeah.
The abode of Bhagavan Vishnu, and found the Lord reposing with his head on the lap of Sri Lakshmi. Breaking into his room unceremoniously, the sage suddenly kicked him on the chest. That is an entrance. The Almighty Lord quickly rose with Sri Lakshmi, alighted from his bed, and offering him homage, asked his forgiveness for the incivility shown to him by not welcoming him in advance. The Lord then rubbed the sage's foot, saying that it might have been hurt by striking against his hard breast. Since then, the Lord has ever borne on his bosom the print of the sage's foot as a mark of honour, and it stands an abiding monument to his unequalled forbearance. Is that how? So, did we work out which is the greatest?
In the story.
Yeah. No.
Maybe it's not for us to decide.
Well, the sage kept it to himself. Back to the story, back to Ram.
Yeah.
So his neck. What? Back to the text.
I'm being silly.
Back to the story, back to the text. Well, it is
It's okay.
told to us in a story.
It's all right. That's why it doesn't matter.
His neck resembled a conch shell in its spiral shape, and the chin looked most beautiful, while his face flushed with the beauty of countless cupids. Pairs of small teeth were veiled by rosy lips, and his beautiful nose and the sectarian mark on his brow defied description. With charming ears and the most lovely cheeks, his sweet lisping prattle was most delightful to hear. The smooth and curly hair that had never been trimmed since his very birth had been beautifully dressed in manifold ways by the mother. A yellow frock covered his body, and his crawling on knees and hands was most pleasing to me. The elegance of his form was something which even the Vedas and Shesha, the serpent god Shesha,
Yes, Isha. I don't know.
the serpent god, could not describe. It is known to him alone, who has beheld it even in a dream. The all-blissful Lord, who is above delusion and transcends knowledge, speech, and all sensuous perception, sported like an innocent child, yielding to the supreme love of the royal couple. In this way, Sri Rama, the father and mother of the universe, delighted the people of Ayodhya. Bhavani, this demonstrates how those who have conceived devotion to the feet of the Lord of Raghus are repaid by him. On the other hand, no one can liberate from the bondage of worldly existence him who is averse to the Lord of Raghus, however much he may struggle. Even that Maya which has held under her sway all living beings, both animate and inanimate, trembles before the Lord, who makes her dance to the play of his eyebrows. Leaving such a Lord, tell me, whom should we adore? The Lord of Raghus will compassionate those who betake themselves to him in thought, word, and deed, giving up all cleverness. In this way the Lord sported as a child, to the delight of all the people of the city. The mother would now dandle him in her arms, and now put him down and rock him in the cradle. Kausalya remained so wrapped in love that days and nights passed unnoticed. Out of affection for her boy, she would sing lays of his childhood. One day, Mother Kausalya washed and adorned her boy and put him to sleep in the cradle. Thereafter, she bathed herself in order to worship the patron deity of her family. Having worshipped the deity, she offered him food and then returned to the kitchen. When she came back to the place of worship, she beheld her boy eating the food that had been offered to the Lord. Frightened at this, the mother went to her boy and found him asleep in the nursery. Come back once more to the temple, she still saw the boy there. She now trembled with fear, and her mind found no rest. She saw two boys, one in the temple and one in the nursery. She said to herself, is it my mental illusion or some other unusual phenomenon? When Sri Rama saw his mother perplexed, the Lord gently smiled. The Lord then revealed to his mother his marvelous infinite form, every pore of whose skin contained millions of universes. She saw therein countless suns and moons, Shivas and four-faced Brahmins, Brahmas, and a number of mountains, rivers, oceans, plains, and woods, as well as the spirit of time, the principle of action, the modes of Prakriti, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, the spirit of knowledge and nature, and many more things to which she had never heard before. She further perceived Maya, who was powerful in every respect. Stricken with terror and standing with her palms joined together, the mother also beheld the embodied soul, who was made to dance by Maya, and even so the spirit of devotion which liberates the soul. The hair on the mother's body bristled, and she stood speechless. Closing her eyes, she bowed her head at the Lord's feet. Seeing the mother struck with wonder, the slayer of Kara assumed the form of a child again. She was unable to utter praises and trembled at the thought that she had looked upon the Father of the universe as her own child. Sri Hari comforted his mother in many ways and said, "Listen, my mother, do not reveal this fact anywhere." Joining her palms, Kausalya prayed again and again, "See, my Lord, that your Maya no longer casts her spell on me." Sri Hari indulged in many kinds of childish sports to the great delight of his servants. After some time, all four brothers passed the stage of infancy, gladdening the inmates of the house. Probably wouldn't have used the inmates of the house, the captors of the house, captives in the house, just the residents.
Yeah, sure, I hear you.
The preceptor then came and performed the ceremony of tonsure, and the brahmanas received handsome presents for officiating at the same. All the four noble princes moved about, indulging in numerous plays, which were most delightful to look at. The Lord, who cannot be comprehended through mind, speech, or action, sported in the courtyard of Dasharatha.
Dasharatha.
Ta.
Ta.
Da.
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 So I was talking about the end.
Ta.
Yeah.
Da.
You got it.
Very interesting. Da. Shara. Dasharata.
No, it's not. It's not. There's no. It's this Dasharata.
Dasharata. Dasharata.
Dasharata.
Where we go now. When the king, while at dinner, called him, he would not turn up, loath as he was to leave the company of his playmates. When Kausalya went to call him, the Lord would run away toddling. He whom the Vedas declare in negative terms, and whose end even Shiva could not find, the mother ran to catch him by force. With his body besmirched all over with dust, he came, and the king smilingly took him in his arms. Okay.
Did it say the Vedas condemned?
Declare in negative terms, and whose even end.
Is it talking about Ram? What's it talking about?
Yeah, he's
What's
like.
Talking about Dasharata?
No, he's playing. It's talking about Ram. He's not coming when he's been called.
Okay.
So when Kausalya, his mum, went to call him, the Lord would run away.
Mm-hmm.
And then he whom the Vedas declare in negative terms, and whose end even Shiva could not find, the mother ran to catch him by force. They're talking about Ram.
Okay.
Just trying to catch him. He's being naughty.
Yep. Oh, did you read that bottom bit?
No. But we're at 203.
Oh, that's where I start, isn't it?
Yeah, so 203.
Chapter. We need to ring a ting. Ring a ting.
Oh, you've got those things.
I know.
Do you want me to get it?
Sorry.
So I'm just getting to 203 here. Even while the Lord sat at meals. Yeah.
Yep.
So this is where Visvamitra visits the king. Visvamitra.
He's got his name here because I don't think it has the things on it.
No, I don't.
Oh, there it is. So it's
Vishvamitra.
Vamitra. Yeah.
Vishvamitra. I can't have the things because it makes it go funny characters in this.
Okay.
So Vishvam and asks for Ram and Lakshman.
Vishwamitra visits King
King
Dasharatha
Dasharatha.
and asks for Rama
Ram and
Lakshman.
to go with him to help
Yeah.
him do some things.
Yeah. Wait for the noise. Everyone's looking at me. Like, why is he smiling awkwardly? Hey! Did it nice and close. We'll have to check that. 25 minutes. We'll have a look at that. See how it sounded.
Oh, there we go. Now I can break in because the next one's fairly soon. So
Okay, good. Even while the Lord sat at dinner, his mind was restless, so that the moment he got a chance, he would run away hither, hither, and
hither.
hither. Yeah, see, it's confusing. Yeah, see, I'm stuck in the other mode. Hither, not
This
hither.
is English now.
I'm trying to. Yeah, well, I'm just saying that I think the other language is better. Just quietly. Even while the Lord sat at dinner, his mind was restless, so that the moment he got a chance, he would run away hither and thither.
So the
Oh,
H
don't get me started. With a scream of delight. We just invent different rules to make you feel bad.
Pretty much, yeah.
With a scream of delight. His mouth daubed with curds and rice. Sorry. His charming and most innocent childish sports have been sung by Sharada, Sesha, Shambhu, and the Vedas. Shambho and the Vedas. Those whose mind does not take delight in these have been deprived by Providence of a great good fortune. When all the four brothers attained of boyhood, the preceptor as well as their parents invested them with the sacred thread. The Lord of Ragus then proceeded to his preceptor residence for study, and in a short time mastered all the branches of knowledge. What a great fun that Sri Hari, whose natural breath stands crystallized in the form of the four Vedas.
I thought the next word was going to be stunk, but
His breath stunk. That's disrespectful, Emma.
Well, because you went the but it was stand.
Oh, my stuttering, yes.
No, but like, yes.
Yeah. But yes,
Can't.
It's okay. Crystallizing the form of the four Vedas should go to school. Proficient in learning and perfect in politeness, virtues, and decorum, they played all the games imitating the role of a king. With an arrow and bow in the hands of each, they appeared most charming. Their beauty enraptured the whole creation, both animate and inanimate. Through whichever street the four brothers passed in pursuit of their sport, all the men and women there stood motionless on perceiving them. The people of Ayodhya, men and women, elderly men as well as children, all held the gracious Rama dearer than life. Calling his half-brothers and playmates, Sri Rama would take them with him and go out to the forest for hunting every day. They would deliberately kill only holy game and brought and showed the daily bag to the king. The beasts that were killed by Sri Rama's shaft went straight to heaven after death. He took his meals with his younger brothers and companions and obeyed the orders of his parents. He would always contrive means to delight the people of the city. He would listen to the Vedas and Puranas with rapt attention and would himself expound the truths contained therein to his younger brothers. Rising at break of day, the Lord of Ragus would bow his head to his parents and preceptor, and obtaining their permission, busied himself with the affairs of the city. The king was glad at heart to see his noble acts. The Lord who is all pervading The Lord who is all pervading, indivisible, desireless, unbegotten, attributeless, and without name or form, performed marvelous acts of various kinds for the sake of his devotees. Well, what number do I change it?
206.
Oh, next one. All this story has been sung by me. Now hear attentively what followed. The great enlightened hermit Vishvamitra lived in a forest, knowing it to be a sacred spot. There he practiced japa, muttering sacred formulas, and yoga, contemplation, and performed sacrifices, but he was much afraid of the demons Maricha and Subahu. For as soon as they saw a sacrifice, they would hasten to desecrate it, to the great chagrin of the sage, who felt disturbed in his mind and thought that the wicked Rakshasas could not be disposed of without Sri Hari. The great sage then said to himself, "The Lord has already taken birth in order to relieve the earth of its burden. Let me make the outrage of the demons an excuse of seeing his feet, and after due entreaty bring the two brothers here. I will regale my eyes with the sight of him who is the abode of knowledge, dispassion, and all virtues."
So these ones are kind of flowing into each other. This is all about the sage going to collect them. And the next one is protection of, what's his name?
Vishvamitra.
Sacrifice. So.
Yeah, you're in there. And do you know when the next one is? I'm just saying for your sake.
208. Indulging. Oh, did you read that part? Indulging expectation.
No, because even though the number's there, we start there. Makes sense?
Yep. Indulging in expectation of various kinds, the sage took no time in reaching his destination. Bathing in the stream of the Sarayu, he proceeded.
Sarayu.
What?
Sarayu. Haven't you heard that name?
Nope, there's no. It's just
Sarayu.
Sarah.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong, but
Sarayu.
I've heard it pronounced Sarayu.
Hang on.
And this is in the version that I'm listening to.
Yeah, so there's
the
no.
Sarayu. Yeah, but you would still say a little bit before the U. Sarayu.
No, because you're. Say that again.
Sarayu.
Because you're extending the sa part.
No, I'm not. Sarau.
Because it's Sarah. I mean, I've got an accent, but there's no extension of any of those letters. There's no little dots
There's an extension here on
that's
the U.
the U, so the U is in.
Yeah, I didn't say
Sorry,
too.
U.
So it's just I'm just going off what I've heard.
Yeah, I don't know. He proceeded to the royal court.
Even Ramdas says it that way.
What's that?
One of the first lines of the Ramayana.
Sorry.
Sarayu. Yeah.
Is that because he's American?
We just don't know. But Sarayu. I think we're just putting too much emphasis on the A. I think it still needs to have the A. How are you saying it?
Sarayu. Just sa.
Sarayu.
Sa.
Yeah. Yep. Maybe you're right. Who knows?
Well, somebody out there probably knows that they have a much more in-depth knowledge of Sanskrit. And what is this written in?
Oh, we call it saying Avadi, but we don't really know.
No. This is not written in Avadi. That the Hanuman Chalisa is. This is written in Nagari.
Oh, well done. Yep.
Okay.
Oh, I think that's the language of my Chalisas.
Yeah, Chalisas. Yeah.
Oh, okay. He talks about that in the video that I watch. We'll get back to it.
Yeah.
We'll work that out later.
Bit of a side note, personal side note.
Yeah, I want to show Emma that video because he talks about the different languages of the Ramayana and different places it was written and stuff.
I think Sevaprem said that the Nagari is like the lay people's language. Like people wouldn't have been able to read Sanskrit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Nagari is like, I don't know what people would have spoken.
More common, like texting.
Yeah.
Text language.
Because Sanskrit,
it's a lot more like the King James Bible to us.
Maybe, yeah.
Like, just like, what the heck does that mean? All the words are back to front.
And then, this one is Tulsidas wrote his poem, Hanuman Chalisa, in Avadi. So there must be, because they're all different dialects.
It's at the very start of this thing online.
Because, it's all different dialects of.
Yeah.
And they're all like written out in Sanskrit because, they're all written out in Devanagari, which is the alphabet. That's how you write it. So that's why they all look the same.
Devanagari is what I would say the Hindi. Is that what you're saying?
No. So Sanskrit is a language. So like English is our language, but we use the alphabet to write it.
Alphabet.
Yeah. And so Sanskrit is a language. Devanagari is how you write it. Hindi is a language.
So that's Devanagari.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, but you're right.
So Hindi uses Devanagari as well.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah.
And this Nagari would have used probably Devanagari. That's the script.
Wow, learn so much here, don't we?
And so that's why Hindi and Sanskrit looks the same because they use the same alphabet.
Yeah.
All right. I'll show you. I can show you what the alphabet looks like. Anyway.
At the front of the books.
So when the king heard the sage of the sage's visit, he went out to meet him with the brahmanas. Prostrating himself on the ground, the king reverently brought him in and seated him on his own throne. Here, mate, have the big seat. Then, washing the sage's feet, he paid him great honours and said, "No one else is so blessed as I am today." The king next entertained him with various kinds of food, and the great sage was much delighted at heart. He then placed his 4 sons on the latter's feet. At the sight of Sri Rama, the sage forgot all about himself. He was enraptured as he gazed on the beauty of Sri Rama's countenance, even as the kakora.
Kaku?
Kakora. Bird is enamored by the fall.
I think.
Chakora.
But yeah.
I'm going to go with kakora. I don't care if it's wrong. Kakora bird is enamored of the full moon. Gladdened at heart, the king then addressed the following words to him. Reverend sir, you have never shown such grace to me before. Tell me, what brings you here? I will carry out your order without delay. Hosts of demons molest me, O king. I have therefore come to ask something of you. Let me have the Lord of Ragu, Sri Rama, and his younger brother Lakshmana. With the extermination of the demons, I will feel secure. Entrust them to me, O king, with a cheerful heart. Let no infatuation or ignorance stand in your way. You will earn religious merit and far renown thereby, and your sons will be highly blessed. Hearing this most unwelcome demand, the king said, Nah, no way, dude. He didn't. The king's heart quivered and the brightness of his countenance faded. He said, I have been blessed by these 4 sons in my old age. You have, therefore, made your demand without due consideration, holy sir. Ask of me land, cattle, goods, and treasures. I will gladly give all I have without delay. Nothing is dearer than one's body and life. Even these I would part with us in a second. All my sons are dear to me as life, but in no case can I afford to spare Rama, my lord. My lovely boys, who are yet too young, are no match for the hideous and relentless demons. The enlightened hermit Vishvamitra felt delighted at heart to hear the king's reply, steeped as it was in the nectar of love. Thus, how did you say that one? Vasishta.
So the first S is, and the second S is sh. Vasishta.
Vasishta pleaded with the king in manifold ways, and all his doubts were gone.
Hang on. We're talking about, let's see, I always get these two confused, I'm sorry.
So that's the sage.
There's Vishvamitra, the stage, and now we're talking about Vasishta.
The counsellor, the king's counsel.
Oh, I didn't notice when he joined the conversation, sorry.
I guess as a king's counsel, he's always hanging around in the background.
He's helping Dasharata.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
It is hard with the
similar names, Vasishta and Vishvamitra, yeah.
Like, when we get into the story, one of Sugriva's army monkey buddies that is with him is Tara, Tara.
Mm-hmm.
But the wife of Valen is Tara dash. And so I'm always getting confused about who's who, where's where.
Yeah, that's very confusing.
Anyway. Most politely he sent for the boys, and pressing them to his bosom, admonished them in many ways. Turning to the sage, he then said, My lord, the 2 boys are my very life. You are the only father now, holy sir. There is no one to look after them.
Oh, sorry, I should have been ready.
So, now we're doing the redemption of Ahalya, which I think is the ashram of...
Dasharata?
No.
Vishvamitra. Yeah. Oh, thanks. This is good. I'm actually understanding a little bit. The next chapter is... Just to give me the heads up while I'm reading.
209.
Oh, 1 page. Jibbed. Invoking various blessings on the boys, the king committed them to care of the sage. Then they called at the mother's apartment, and bowing their head at her feet departed. The 2 heroes, lions among men, oceans of compassion, resolute of purpose, and the ultimate cause of the whole universe, gladly proceeded to rid the sage of his fear.
Keep going. I think this might be a little out. I know where the next point is. I'll stop you.
Okay. The Lord had reddish eyes, a broad chest, and long arms. His body was dark as the blue lotus, or the tamala tree, with a beautiful quiver fastened at his back, with a yellow piece of cloth wrapped around his waist. He held his two hands a lovely bow and arrow, respectively. In the two pretty boys, one of whom was dark and the other fair, Vishvamitra secured a great treasure. I have now realized, said he to himself, that the Lord is a votary of the Brahmanas. On my account, he has left his own father. While on the way, the sage pointed out the demoness Tadaka, who, on hearing their voice, rushed up in a fury. With a single shaft, the Lord took her life, and recognizing her as deserving of compassion, bestowed his own state on her. Then the seer Vishvamitra, while recognizing his Lord as the fountain of knowledge, imparted to him a sacred formula which armed him against hunger and thirst and endowed him with unequaled strength of body and a glow of vigor. Oh, this is up to 209, so keep going?
Yeah, keep going.
Okay. Making over to him every kind of weapon, the sage took the Lord to his own hermitage and devoutly gave him bulbs, roots, and fruits to eat, perceiving him his greatest friend. At daybreak, the Lord of Ragus said to the sage, "You may now go and perform your sacrifice without any fear of molestation." It was never going to work. I needed to sneeze. But sneezes disappear if you tell anyone that you're going to do it anyway. At daybreak, the Lord of Ragus said to the sage, You may now go and perform the sacrifice without any fear of molestation." All the sages then started offering oblations into the sacred fire, while Sri Rama himself guarded the sacrifice. On hearing of it, the furious demon Maricha, a great enemy of hermits, rushed with his army. Sri Rama struck him with a headless shaft, and after he fell at a distance of 800 miles beyond the seashore, the Lord then dispatched Subahu with an arrow of fire, while his younger brother Lakshmana exterminated the demon host. Having killed the demons in this way, the Lord rid the Brahmanas of their fear. The whole company of gods and sages offered praises to him. The Lord of Ragus stayed there a few days more and showed his grace to the Brahmanas. Even though the Lord knew everything, the Brahmana, out of their devotion, repeated to him many legends of the Puranas. The sage then politely said to him in a pleading tone, "My lord, let us go and witness a performance." Hearing of a bow sacrifice, the Lord of Ragus gladly accompanied the noble sage. On the way they saw a hermitage without bird, beast, or any other living creature. Observing a slab of stone lying there, the Lord inquired of the sage about it, and the latter in reply told him in detail the whole history behind it. Gautama's consort, having assumed the form of a stone under a curse, seeks with patience the dust of your lotus feet. Show mercy to her, O hero of Raghu's race. At the very touch of his holy feet, which drive away sorrow, emerged Ahalya.
Oh, she's a person, sorry.
Sorry? A true embodiment of austerity. Beholding the Lord of Ragus and the delight of his servants, she stood before him with joined palms, her heart being overwhelmed with love. The hair on her body stood on the end, and she was unable to utter a word. The most blessed Ahalya cleaved to his feet, and tears streamed from both her eyes. Recovering herself, she recognized the Lord, and by the grace of Sri Rama, attained devotion to his feet. In guileless speech, she began to praise the Lord. Glory to the Lord of Raghus, who is accessible through spiritual knowledge. I am an impure woman, while the Lord is able to sanctify the whole world and is the delight of his servants. O lotus-eyed enemy of Ravana, you rid your devotees of their fear of rebirth. Therefore, I have taken refuge in you. Pray save me, my consort Gautama did well in pronouncing a curse on me, and I have deemed it the greatest favour and have feasted my eyes on Sri Hari, yourself, who liberated from the bondage of worldly existence. Lord Shankara deems your sight as the only blessing worth the name. Lord, I am very innocent of heart, and I have only one request to make. I seek no other boon from you, my master. I only crave that my mind may ever continue to enjoy the love of your feet dust, even as a bee sucks the honey from a lotus. The merciful Lord Sri Hari placed on my head the same lotus feet from which issued the most holy Ganga, the heavenly river, which is borne by Shiva on his head, and which are adored by Brahma, the Creator. Having thus praised Sri Hari, and failing again and again at his feet, Gautama's consort Ahalya took leave of the Lord, and securing a boon which she held most dear to her heart, she went to her husband's abode full of joy. Did you want to keep going?
Well, this is actually a really good place to stop
Yep.
because the next section is the entry of, what's the sage's name? Vishvamitra
Yeah.
with Rama and Lakshmana into the precincts of Mithilia.
So where's it written? Matilia.
Mhm.
Matilia.
Yep. So they're on their way to meet Sita.
Oh.
So they're on
Cool.
their way to Janaka's kingdom, where they
Yes.
meet
Where they break the
Sita
bow.
and they break the bow.
Shiva's bow.
Where they do the competition for Sita's heart. So it's a good spot to stop, and we will
Yeah.
get to that one in the next reading.
That's good.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So what page are we up to?
Page 205. Why don't we just start writing on the notes to 11?
Do you want a post-it note?
Then we don't even need to know the post-it note. All right. Well, just some behind the scenes
We're organising ourselves.
stuff happening here.
Post-it notes.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
See you next time.